that there's a very high level of awareness in some African countries. We need to begin to drive that same level of awareness in Nigeria. I'm not saying that that hasn't existed. For example, if you look at the sectors like the oil and gas sector, for example, and you now cascade that into all that has been happening within the Niger Delta region, you would realize that so much advocacy has been going on around issues on human rights and business with multinational companies. That's a very great step. That's a step to start from. But we must move that same energy to begin to look at mining companies, for example, in northern part of Nigeria. I've read stories in the papers where for women to work in mine sites, they have to pay forward through sexual intercourse with maybe managers on the mine site before they can come in there to try to fend for themselves and make a living. That's totally unacceptable. We cannot live in a society where we just allow some of these things to pass by, because the framework to protect people, even though present to some extent, but the ignorance about this system is really sickening, and we must begin to do something about it. I just felt that this video might fall on the laps, of course, fall on the hands, on the phones of anybody who has that authority of decision to ensure that we can begin to make the little change that we can. One change on the other, society becomes a better place. Of course, how was Europe built? Europe wasn't built in a day. It wasn't built in a day. Africa, we must embrace a new consciousness, and that consciousness can give us the pathway to better responsibility for companies, for corporations, for multinational corporations, for the heavy lifters in the financial space.